Hi guys, so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to break down the criteria that you're going to be assessed on for your first assessment task, which is a multimodal analytical speech for a satirical text of your choosing. So the first criteria that we're going to take a look at is this one over here, and that's the knowledge and understanding criteria. So this criteria is all about your structure. So the first dot point here is going to look at your overall structure of your piece. So do you have an introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion? So you're going to need to make sure that your introduction has a clear thesis. You're going to need to have 3 body paragraphs. Your first body paragraph is going to give the context of your satirical text. The second body paragraph is going to be the analysis of the first satirical technique that you're going to look at. Your third body paragraph is going to give the analysis of the second satirical technique that you're going to look at. And then, of course, you're going to need a conclusion where you sum it all up and bring all your arguments together. To get an A, what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to exploit, that criteria for specific purposes. For a B, it's going to need to be an effective control of a range of speech patterns and conventions to achieve a specific purpose. And for the C, it's just a use of speech patterns and conventions to achieve a purpose. The second dot point that we're looking at is this one here, the discerning selection, organisation and synthesis of relevant and substantive subject matter to support opinions and perspectives. So what we're looking at here is your word count. Have you met the word count? Have you gone under it or significantly over? Have you used examples from your chosen text to support your thesis? And are you presenting your work in a logical structure? So for an A, it's the discerning selection, organisation and synthesis of relevant and substantive subject matter to support opinions and perspectives. For a B, it's going to be effective and relevant. For a C, we're really looking at your selection, your sequencing, your organisation of relevant subject matter. The third criteria that we're looking for in this overall criteria is this one here. It's the manipulation and control of roles of the writer and speaker and the relationships with the audience. So what we're looking for here is, have you used formal language? You need to be speaking in third person. It needs to sound academic, and at the end of your speech, your audience needs to feel as if they've been educated. So for an A, we're looking for a manipulation and control of the roles of the writer, the speaker, and the relationship with the audience. For a B, we're looking for establishment and control of these roles of the writer and the speaker and the relationship that you forge with your audience. And for a C, we're looking for an establishment and a maintenance of these roles. The second criteria here is this one here. It's constructing texts. And this one's all about the mechanics of your speech. So the first dot point here, what we're looking for is your paragraphs, your sentence structures. Have you used a variety of sentence structures? And have you used a variety of ways to contextualize your examples within your speech? So for an A, we're looking for a discerning combination of a range of grammatically accurate sentence structures for a specific effect, including clauses and sentences in written texts. For a B, we're looking for a control of this language structures, and for a C, we're looking for a use of mostly grammatically accurate sentence structures to achieve a purpose. The second one we're looking at is this one here, the second dot point, and it's all about your paragraphing specifically. So have you used the teal structure? Have you contextualized your example within your paragraph? Have you analyzed your example, and have you linked it to your thesis? So for an A, we're looking for a discerning use of mode-appropriate cohesive devices to develop and emphasize ideas and to connect parts of text. For a B, it needs to be effective and it needs to maintain the ideas. And for a C, we're looking for a use of your cohesive devices to link ideas and connect parts of texts. The third dot point in this criteria, what we are looking for is it's all about your vocabulary choices. Okay, so you need to be able to use the correct terminology for your satirical devices. You need to ensure that you've identified your satirical devices correctly, and you also need to maintain academic vocabulary choices. So for an A, we're looking for a discerning use of a wide range of apt vocabulary for a very specific purpose. For a B, we're looking for an effective use of a range of apt vocabulary for specific purposes. And for the C, we're looking for a use of suitable vocabulary. The last dot point here is all about how your speech comes together. So for the first dot point here, the written features, it's all about your written punctuation and your referencing in your written script. The second dot point here is looking at how you deliver your speech. So your pronunciation, your phrasing, your pausing, your audibility, your clarity, your volume, your pace, your pauses, and your silences. The third dot point here is looking at your non-verbal features, so your facial expressions, your gestures, your proximity, your stance, your movement, eye contact, that all comes under non-verbal features. And the final one here is your complementary features, which is, for example, your PowerPoint or your poster or whatever it is that makes your presentation multimodal. So the graphics, still and moving images, design elements, music, and sound effects. So to get the A, this needs to be a discerning use of these mode appropriate features for a specific effect. To get a B, it needs to be an effective use of these features to achieve an effect. And for a C, you need to have a suitable use of your mode appropriate features to achieve a purpose. The third and final criteria that we'll be looking at is this one down here. It's called interpreting texts, and this one is all about how you've evaluated and analysed and linked your whole speech to your thesis. So for the first dot point here, what we're looking at is your ideas. Have you understood the context of your chosen text? Have you selected evidence from your text to support your thesis? Do the examples that you provide throughout your speech add value to your analysis? And the examples that you provide in your analysis, you need to be identifying your satirical devices. So to get the A, it needs to be a discerning analysis of this. To get the B, it needs to be effective. And for a C, you need to give an analysis. The second dot point here is all about your overall link to your thesis. It needs to be clear in your examples that you analyse that the satirical device supports the message and the tone of your text. So for an A, we're looking for a subtle and a complex evaluation of the perspectives. For a B, we're looking for an effective evaluation of the perspectives. And for a C, we're looking for an evaluation of the perspective. The very last criteria that we're marking you on is, what does your piece look like together as a whole? So is it effective in answering the task question? To get an A, you need to have a discerning evaluation. For a B, we're looking for an effective evaluation. And for a C, what we're looking for is that you can identify and explain the aesthetic features in your text. So that's it. That's your assignment in a nutshell. See you in class and happy drafting.